Hi, welcome back. So since we are going to have this second video, I do want to give you a quick try problem for the midpoint formula. So I would like you to try to find the midpoint between point A at 5, 12, and B at -4, 8. So plug it in, give it a try. Your answer should be 1/2, so 1/2, 10 as your value. You actually can graph this in a coordinate plane and check it if you want to, and it is indeed very much what looks like the middle, and we are going to trust the math. Okay. So, finding coordinates of an endpoint. Let's say that, the best thing I can do is draw a picture. I have my segment here. And I know my midpoint, so I've got my midpoint. And I'm gonna say that I have K. Oh man, 1 second. K's gotta be here. And J is over there. So JK, and we know the midpoint. The midpoint is going to be 3, -5. So that is going to be a known point. And then K is going to be -1, 2. All right. So, what is this? Well, remember, we said that the midpoint formula gives us the y piece and the x piece, and it is basically just wrapped up in a ordered pair wrapper when they write out the formula. So here's what I'm going to do. I need to work backwards, so I know this, and I know part of this. I'm just going to take those away from each other, kind of separate it out from the rest of the group, put an equal sign, plug in what I know, and solve. And then the same over here. That was pretty bad. So I'm going to take my y value and, the value of my midpoint, and then my formula for my endpoints, and say that ym is going to be equal to y1 plus y2. Now I plug in what I know. Now, very, very important. Remember which one is your midpoint. Remember which one is actually your midpoint, otherwise it will go wrong. So our x value for our midpoint is 3. So we're going to say 3 is equal to -1 plus some x, whatever this x is, over 2. And I'm just going to solve this by multiplying both sides by 2. I get 6 equals -1 plus x. Add 1 to both sides. 7 equals x. Okay, so J is 7 something. Let's figure out the other piece. Our y value for our midpoint specifically is -5. So I do that, and then I say, okay, then I have 2 plus y2, which is just, we can call it y, over 2. Same deal here. Just a quick solve. I get -12 equals y. And that is going to be the y value for my other endpoint. There is my answer. That's all. No problems. All right, let me give you a try problem for that while it's very, very fresh in your mind. So if you need to, pause and rewind and go back and watch that again. We will talk about it in class, but I really want you to feel like you know what you're doing for this try problem. So here we go. Oh, that's going to be too confusing. So, okay. I'm going to just tell you that your midpoint for this problem is going to be -1, 2. Now, I know that that was just your endpoint. That's why I'm being very straightforward about this. And then your endpoint, the one endpoint you are given, is, oh gosh, 3, -5. Okay, so this try problem is kind of becoming a hypothetical, what if you got those two mixed up? What would it say the endpoint was? So, midpoint is gonna be the -1, 2. I'm gonna box it in green. Pause the video, give it a try. Okay, hopefully you did not get 7, -12, because that is not correct. We wanted the endpoint to be -5, 9. Now, I know with these two back to back, that's like really weird, so don't freak out if it didn't work for you, okay? It's gonna be fine. The last example that I have for you is using algebra to find measures. So there's going to be a pattern. We're going to be using the coordinate plane. We're going to use algebra. And depending on what class you're in, we might be using some construction, so Euclidean geometry as well. So here's the problem. You could be given something like, find the measure of PQ if Q is the midpoint of PR. And you are given just P, Q, and R, no coordinates. And you are given, for the other piece of information, just some information about the lengths. So PQ is going to be 9y minus 2, and QR is 14 plus 5y. Okay. When you're doing a problem like this, you're going to see midpoint, and you're going to think, They didn't give me any of the points. What am I supposed to do here? The midpoint in this case is not going to be about the formula, using the formula. It's going to be about the definition of the midpoint. So we defined the midpoint as exactly halfway between P and R in this case. And if it's exactly halfway, it cuts it in half, also known as this segment and this segment are congruent. Now, if they're congruent, that makes our lives significantly easier. We can just say, well, that means that 9y minus 2 has to somehow be equal to 14 plus 5y. I've got one variable. All I've got to do is move some things around so they're on the same side. So y equals 4. We circle it because that's our initial reaction and we say, yay! But not quite. Okay. We need to find the measure of PQ. Y is a variable that is going to help us find the measure of PQ. So I need to do 9, y is 4, 9 times 4, minus 2. 9 times 4 is 36, minus 2 equals 34. So that is the measure of PQ. It's going to be very, very sad if you put 4 because I can't give you full credit. Even though you did everything right, you forgot to look back at the question, okay? So 34 is the answer that you are looking for there. We are going to pick this back up tomorrow with class. So hope you are excited about that. See you then. Bye.